Welcome to the heart of the matter. The world has changed in ways that we did not expect. Today, we'll be talking about how to adapt your business to the new world. Remy, at the beginning of the year, a couple of people were doing lots of vision boarding, like, oh, this is my plan for 2020. This is how my business goes out. This is what I'm going to hack. And then all of this happened. Nobody was anticipating it. What are the new business realities?
The new business realities is that things have changed, right? Things have changed. I don't think that I would say, oh, there's a particular new business reality. It's just that things have changed. There's a pandemic. People are getting sick. People are dying. People cannot go to work. People cannot operate their business as it should. So people are having to, turn things around. But I still think that there are a lot of opportunities, and the way you adapt depends on your kind of business. Absolutely. But I think the most important thing is first facing your realities. What are the realities for you? What I did in my own business was give myself a day to suck up, and at the end of the day, I had to be like, what are we going to do? Who are the people I needed to communicate with? How can I still do something even though this is happening? So I think that the most important thing is to first understand the realities on ground. I feel like a lot of people can do wonderful things if they can, first of all accept that, okay, things have changed for us. What are the things that our customers are now looking for? So what you're giving your customers now has to be what they actually need. It can't be something that you think they might be excited about, or something that you think is sort of like an hobby. There's still room for that, but it has to be things that actually fill a need in people. I was reading something about like a founder whose business was crippled by the pandemic because it had something to do with travel. And what he did was set up another business, still within his own business, to help other founders like him navigate things. So it just moved things around. Okay, I have knowledge and my business, because we have systems and we have a team that is experienced handling things for other businesses. Why don't we now create like maybe little marketing units, little operations units for other businesses to leverage on? So I think there's still a lot of possibilities, but first you have to accept that things have changed. Hello, my name is Oluremi Martins, founder Natural Girl Wigs, a hair company that provides textured hair for Black women. I would really just want to share that, the dream of building a company, especially like a digital focused company, can be achieved by anyone. All you need to do is like understand the basics and also, your passion. If you're really building a company that sort of like resonates with your passion, your own needs as well, you can connect with thousands and millions of people who are just like you. The beautiful thing about the internet is that you can always create a community and connect with people globally, irrespective of where you're from. And I would really just want to share my journey so that people can understand that if I can do this, you can do this as well.
I really, really love the example you used about travel. Look at a lot of travel companies and like, oh my God, this is my main stream of income. What do we do? Like a friend of mine as well, she's also a founder of a travel company. Guess what she's doing? Now she's telling stories online. She's even now launching storybooks amongst other things. So just being able to open your mind and ask yourself, what are the possibilities out there? What can we do differently? So Remy, can you just talk us through how businesses can innovate? We've already spoken about the travel companies. We're seeing people making changes. For instance, imagine how I was so surprised to see Eco Hotel actually offering their restaurant services as delivery and even doing dry cleaning as well as a service for people that do not use their hotel facilities. So talk us through that.
The truth is you can either, you have to innovate or die. That's it, right? So if you're not innovating, if you're not doing new things, your business will die off. So you have to look at the realities on ground. And for me, it's like there are three factors. The number one thing as a business is you want to look at your customers. I think that's very important. What are the things that your customers need? A good example is, a lot of stylists and a lot of, groomers, say barbers or stylists or pedicurists and things like that in New York had to close because their businesses were not going to function. And what they did was a bunch of them created sort of like a product that helps them refer their customers to grooming package companies. So there are companies that deliver grooming in a box, say grooming essentials for men or grooming essentials for women. So there can be like a moisturizer kit, like a braiding hair wig, or little things like that. So what these stylists have done is they've used the data of customers that they have, which is also important for businesses that have kept, you know, their customers' information. And they were telling their customers that, oh, you can actually achieve this style that I would normally do for you at the salon using this company. And they made money off those referrals. So you need to look at your customers and look at, okay, what are the things my customers need? What are the things I can refine, or the things that I can, you know, adjust or change to suit their current realities? The second thing you need to look at is systems, right? What are the systems you have as a company? So there are some companies that they excel so well because they have like very good marketing units. There are some companies that excel so well because their operations are amazing. There are some companies that excel because they have logistics, you know, on lockdown, right? How can you leverage your systems for other businesses that are currently thriving during the pandemic? A good example is GoCada, the company that had to, you know, let some staff go and even shut down their operations in Lagos because of the Okada ban. Now they are able to attach their logistics to, say, a company like Jumia or HealthPlus, or all of these companies that are constantly making deliveries during this period. So you want to look at your systems and look at, you know, what you can apply it to. Another thing you need to look at is also your assets. So a lot of companies have assets that are currently not making money because people are not in need of them, which is a good example of with hotels. They have a kitchen, they have all of these, you know, things that are already in their kitchen that a lot of food companies do not even have. So what's the best time for them to now leverage on that kitchen as a food delivery, you know, company? So that is what they've done. So you look at your customers, you look at their needs, you look at the systems, and you also look at the assets that you have and how you can leverage on them.
Hi, my name is Oluwatosin Olasende. I'm the founder of Money Africa. So Money Africa is a financial literacy platform, and that's basically what we do. We enjoy to teach people about their money to help them approach financial independence. Okay, so I got my first degree at the age of 20, and I worked in South Africa. For the first 4 years, I was living from hand to mouth. And after I relocated back to Nigeria, I remember my mom giving me money in church as offering, and I was very, very upset. I told myself I never wanted that to happen again. I wanted to take charge of my money. So if you look at those that have become successful, they play the long-term game. It's like a seed. You plant the seed, you put in the water, you add some fertilizer, and you wait. It won't happen overnight. So that's the biggest thing about money. For those you can't control, is really beyond you. But for those ones that you can control, we would like you to sit in the driver's seat to actually steer the wheel and take the journey by yourself. So Remy, you've raised a lot of valid points talking about how businesses can then adapt to the new realities, make changes amongst others. So now, if they want to position for innovation, if they want to position for changes, what are the steps in order to achieve that?
To me, I think positioning is a word that people will already use a lot. I've already laid down, you know, the things you can do to innovate, look into your customers, your systems, your assets. I think the way to position yourself is to start. So if you think that your customers will need this product, have you asked them? Have you sent a message to people and say, oh, we are doing this? There are several things that companies can do to even test some of the ideas that they may have. So for example, you can create a product and tell people to pre-order that you'll be launching this product at so date, and people can pre-order to get, say, like 20% off. Based on the feedback that you get from that, then you know, oh, are people actually interested in things like this? Another way to position yourself, I would say, is maybe even putting call through to a company you want to collaborate on. Ask them that, oh, I know that we're both, you know, going through things. These are the things that my company can do for your company, and it can help us, you know, both come out of this well and, you know, share profit or share revenue and things like that. So I think the best way to position yourself is to actually start doing this. Make that call, you know, ask for that partnership. Post and put it out there that you're doing a discount or something on some of your products if you want to, but really just put yourself out there, ask those questions, then get the feedback.
We definitely agree with these steps, and it's very, very important to actually make those moves. So put it out there, put the word out there, test the markets, get some survey, let the market feel the pulse, and then actually make a move. So guys, you've heard it all. We'll be going on a very, very short break, and we'll be back. It's from us at the heart of the matter.
My brother is an addict. He dropped out of school in 2015, and all he does is eat, smoke weed, and drink alcohol. He gets violent and would destroy stuff just to get his way. He's been in and out of rehab 4 times. And my parents think it's some kind of spiritual force that needs to be prayed away. I'm afraid for their lives and for my brothers. Please help.
Family life is very important to me because I see the family as being at the center of God's redemptive plan for mankind. Every community has the family as its basic unit. It's the building block of any society.
Family life is a topic which hardly gets the attention it requires. For me, it addresses a lot of things we don't usually talk about.
So I bring this episode of Family Life every week, talking about one segment or the other of family life. We talk about marriage. How do you make marriages better? We talk about parenting. How do you deal with tough, difficult children? We talk about things like divorce, childlessness. We talk about adoption. We talk about a whole variety of things on Family Life with Wale Adefarasi.
I love the fresh perspectives that Pastor Wale gives while still focusing on biblical principles. I believe that if people know better, they will do better.
And so it's important that we give family life the prime of place and the prime of attention. At the moment, we are reaching 8 states of the Federation, and our goal is to be able to reach all 36 states. And so we're looking for partners that will join hands with us, support us in getting this out. Remember, as you join to support or to partner with us in making sure we're able to expand this program beyond our present reach, you are doing something for your nation.
Welcome back to the heart of the matter. Today we want to talk about the role of training. So just immediately after the whole COVID thing happened, a company reached out to us, Tosin, you guys need to be able to train our staff on personal finance. We don't know if we have to let some of them go. We don't know how serious this is going to get. If they were to lose their job, how would they be able to manage their finances? And we did that and it worked really well. Now for businesses, how are they thinking of training for the company? HR, marketing, finance, what is the role training will play and how should it be engaged?
I think the role of training is very essential. And for some businesses that have, that have the insight and have been privileged to, get good training from the entrepreneur, the CEO, to even the staff, I think that, the role of training cannot be overestimated. But I think there's still good time for people to take on these trainings. And I would say training is essential because starting a business or running a business, you cannot know it all. For example, there are businesses that have to leverage now in e-commerce, right? Move from being just traditional businesses to having their e-commerce, business as well. For example, someone was saying that, how come Obmat, Spa, all of these people were able to quickly get into the e-commerce terrain? And I'm sure that they probably had these systems in place or they were able to outsource to a company that could handle that for them. So I think there's still the opportunity for you to get trainings. The number one thing I tell people in this age of getting education online is to not forget that Google is still the number one resource center, right? If you have questions, you can type it and ask. There's probably going to be a platform already that's already giving out information on things that you are, interested or things that you're looking for. And also look out for your key points. So for example, some people are strong in some regard and they're not strong in the other regard. For example, entrepreneurs have issues with, say, managing their books, record keeping. Some have issues with marketing. Some have issues with their HR. So looking out for opportunities for learning in situations or in areas where you don't have good knowledge in is key for me. I always tell people that the quality of free resource or free knowledge that you get from a platform that you've not paid for, shows you what that platform can actually give you when you now pay for that platform. So if you are looking at a particular training platform and you're thinking of, applying or paying for them, I think what you should do is look at the free resource that they currently have. If you are able to speak to people that have gone through that system and ask them, what were the key learning points for them, how it added value to them before actually proceeding to pay for it. But I think it's important that entrepreneurs know that they cannot do it all. Businesses need to understand that you cannot cover all base. So even if you don't want to do these things yourself and how to, you will have to outsource it, I think it's still better for you to have some knowledge. And that's where platforms like Google and all of these other learning platforms come in. It will refer you to, places where you can find value and where you can take courses to adapt. I think businesses should also invest in their staff by making them go through some trainings. Because, for example, if your staff is used to, managing customers physically, and now they have to manage customers online. Like the difference is there, because people can sort of like sense your emotion or sense how you are speaking to them even over the phone. So you want to make sure that your staff, they are ready and they understand what the time is. That's very important. So the role of training is huge and the opportunity is everywhere.
I totally agree. Training is like very, very key. It's what they always say about knowledge. You can never have enough knowledge. Also being able to identify what knowledge, because time is also limited. You can only do so many trainings. So being able to identify the key trainings that is required is very, very key. Also, we want to talk about how companies can actually navigate operations through COVID. So now there is COVID-19. Things are going to change. We rightly spoke about how now customers are able, instead of them dealing with customers physically, they now have to deal with them online. How about logistics? We're looking at some research, and in the US, for the very first time, companies are actually, people are actually purchasing groceries online over physical stores. Things are changing. Now, how do you position your operations through all of those changes? Also bringing into the fact that we are here in a local market.
I think that, at the end of the day, it takes me back to what I said earlier about you understanding the realities of what is on ground and what you can do. This reminds me, so one of my mentors, he has this food business. He actually just started like 2 months before the COVID time, the whole COVID situation started. He sells local food like amala and all of these things. So he closed this business and he called me and, he asked me that, he doesn't know what to do. He's thinking of should they go back, but his operations, his supplier would need to supply huge amount of things and all of that. And I told him that you're looking at this as if you have to do business like you were doing before. But look at the realities of on ground. You don't need all your staff to start doing business. In fact, you don't need to even open your shop. What you need to do is maybe set up a little kitchen in your house. Bring 2 or 3 of your staff in. Call your supplier and tell him, I'm going to deposit, say, 50,000 naira with you. This is the amount of meat I need you to deliver to me every 3 days. He himself is looking for customers. He's going to make it happen. He was able to put these whole things together. Look for a delivery company that could, be dedicated to him in terms of food deliveries, because you really can't mix food with other things. And he was able to get things started. He called me a few days ago and he was like, we are actually doing more revenue than we're doing, even though, they just started, so I can't really compare, but it's still significantly huge for them. So I think that as a business, you need to, modify things. If you needed like 7 staff before, maybe now you only need 5. Right? You can manage that. If your staff were going home before, because of the curfew and things like that, you may need to set up an abode for some of them to stay so that operations still go smoothly. You need to also make your staff understand. I think that's another thing that a lot of business do not, they do not see, that you need to even communicate and also have sort of like a business operation document for your staff that lets them see what the realities are, that lets them see what the value of the business, the value of the business going is for them. Because if your staff understand that if they do not work the way they need to work at this particular period, they might need to go home. There may be people who understand that, okay, you need to get things right. So I think that just adapting in terms of what are the things that we need to reduce? What are the things we need to increase? Do I need to give my staff more, maybe I need to even increase their salary in a way so that they're able to cope with these things themselves. My logistic people, am I informing them about what the situation is? Am I, telling them that what we used to carry is not what we are carrying now? So maybe the packaging has to be different. Absolutely. So I think a lot of communication, a lot of knowledge is required for business to be able to manage themselves, and also looking out for opportunities that are available to them. So, we already talked in previous episodes about, financing, about assets and all of that. So there are some businesses that are providing support for businesses during this period that you can reach out to and tell them that, okay, can we use your service for a particular period and pay after 7 days? So I think entrepreneurs just looking at the opportunities that are currently available for them, to them, and also managing things properly is the way to navigate operations during this period.
Totally agree. You were saying something about also communicating with your employees. So for instance, with our Money Africa Kids, where we teach children, we noticed that during one of the sessions, the network of our staff was not picking. We invested in a fiber network for her so that in the future, she will never have to go through that network breaking. So basically speaking to the team, carrying everyone along as a joint journey, and together we can overcome. Thank you, Remy, for those valid points. They were very, very helpful. So now as a business owner, they should start thinking about how do we adapt? Adapt or die. We're here to stay. Things are going to change and it is really time to adapt. So you're also thinking about things like positioning. You're thinking about things like starting. So stop talking about it. Actually get up there and start. We spoke a lot about research, about testing the market, about keeping the data so that way you can communicate to your customers. We also spoke about looking at the operations, like do we really need all these employees? And if we need all of them, how can we train them? How can we all get better as a team? And last but not the least, we spoke about communication. Communication is very, very key. We also noticed that as a business, that once the inside is cohesive, it's easier to then fight any other external challenges or struggles. And together, we make it possible. So guys, that is it from us at the Heart of the Matter. We hope that you go out there and you conquer and you adapt your businesses to the challenges in the market. Thank you.
President Muhammad Buhari was declared winner of the 2019 general elections by INEC.
Muhammadu Buhari of the All Progressives Congress, having satisfied the requirements of the law and scored the highest number of votes, is hereby declared winner and is returned elected. Thank you.
I, Muhammadu Buhari, do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God.
Mr. President went right back to work.
Arise, O compatriot, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and mind one nation